The divorce papers landed on the marble floor like dead leaves. Jessica Ade stared at them, her hands trembling, her vision blurring with tears she refused to let fall. 7 years. 7 years of trying. 7 years of doctors and treatments and hope dying a little more each month. 7 years of pretending she didn't hear the whispers. 7 years of watching her husband's family look at her like she was broken. And now this. Minho's mother stood in the doorway of the Gangnam mansion, her face carved from ice and disapproval. You have 1 hour to pack your things and leave. The servants will ensure you take nothing that belongs to this family. Jessica's throat closed. Where am I supposed to go? That is not my concern. You should have thought about that before you trapped my son in a barren marriage. Her voice was sharp as broken glass. You are not Korean. You will never be Korean. And you cannot even give us a child to compensate for the embarrassment of your existence. The words hit like fists. Jessica had spent 7 years learning the language, learning the customs, learning how to bow and serve and make herself smaller. She'd given up her career, her friends, her country. She'd endured the whispers at family gatherings, the pitying looks from Minho's sisters, the way his mother measured her worth in ultrasounds and negative pregnancy tests. And Minho, her husband, the man who'd promised to love her forever. He stood in the corner of the room, wouldn't even look at her. His silence was louder than his mother's cruelty. You're not going to say anything, Jessica whispered, her voice breaking. He finally met her eyes. There was nothing there, no love, no regret, just exhaustion. What is there to say? My mother is right. This marriage was a mistake. 7 years wasted, I need a son. An heir, you can't give me that, so it's over. Jessica felt something shatter inside her chest. Something that would never heal. She'd loved him. God help her. She'd loved him so completely that she'd lost herself trying to be enough for him. And he was throwing her away like garbage. Fine. Her voice was steady now. Cold. She wiped her tears and straightened her spine. I'll leave, but I'm taking the Mercedes. I paid for that car with my money before we married. You'll take nothing, Minho's mother snapped. Everything you have came from this family's generosity. You'll leave with the clothes on your back and be grateful we're not having you deported. Jessica looked at Minho one last time. He still wouldn't meet her eyes. She walked upstairs to the bedroom they'd shared. The room where she'd cried herself to sleep more nights than she could count. The room where her marriage had died slowly, month by month, until there was nothing left but ashes. She packed a single bag. Her passport, her phone, a few clothes, her mother's necklace. Everything else could burn for all she cared. When she came back downstairs, Minho's mother was waiting with 2 security guards. They're here to escort you off the property. To make sure you don't steal anything. Jessica laughed. It was a hollow, broken sound. Don't worry. I don't want anything from this family. Not anymore. The guards followed her to the gate. It was raining. Of course it was raining. Seoul's autumn rain was cold and relentless, soaking through her coat within seconds. She stood on the sidewalk outside the mansion, watching the gates close. 7 years of her life, gone. Welcome to K-fairytales stories, besties. Please like, share, and subscribe. Jessica walked. She didn't know where she was going, just away. The rain turned her tears invisible, washed away the last remnants of the woman she'd been. Mrs. Choi Min-ho, the perfect wife, the obedient daughter-in-law, that woman was dead now. The streets of Gangnam blurred around her. Luxury cars, designer stores. Women in expensive coats carrying shopping bags that cost more than Jessica had been allowed to spend in months. This had been her neighborhood, her prison. She kept walking until her feet ached, until the rain had soaked through to her skin. Until she found herself in Itaewon, the foreigner district, where at least she wouldn't stand out so much. Where her dark skin wouldn't draw stares and whispers. She collapsed on a bench near the subway station. Her phone buzzed. 23 missed calls from Minho's mother's lawyer, probably making sure she understood the terms of her silence. The prenup she'd signed meant she got nothing, not a single one, not even compensation for the years she'd given up. She'd been stupid, so stupid. She'd trusted love, she'd believed in forever. And now she was sitting on a bench in the rain with nowhere to go and no one to call. Her visa was tied to her marriage. Without Minho, she had 30 days to leave Korea. 30 days to pack up 7 years of her life and disappear. The rain kept falling.
Jessica closed her eyes and wondered if it was possible to die from a broken heart. Then a car pulled up. Not just any car, a black Mercedes S-Class with windows so dark she couldn't see inside. The kind of car that whispered money and danger in equal measure. The back door opened. "Jessica," a voice said, her name in a voice like smoke and whiskey and something darker. She looked up. The man in the back seat was Korean, maybe early 30s, wearing a black suit that fit him like a weapon. His face was all sharp angles and dangerous beauty, high cheekbones, strong jaw, eyes that held the kind of intensity that made her breath catch. She'd never seen him before in her life. "How do you know my name?" "Get in the car." It wasn't a request. Jessica's survival instincts kicked in. "I don't know you." "I know you." His voice was calm, absolute. "I know you were married to Choi Min-ho. I know his family just threw you out. I know you have nowhere to go. I know everything about you, Jessica Ade. And right now, I'm offering you a choice. You can sit in the rain and wait for immigration to deport you, or you can get in this car and let me give you what they took from you. What they took from me. Everything. Power, revenge, a reason to live." His smile was sharp as a knife, and a way to make them regret ever treating you like you were worthless. Jessica should have run, should have screamed, should have done anything except what she did. She stood up, walked to the car, and got in. The door closed behind her with a soft click that sounded like fate locking into place. The man extended his hand. "Kang Min-ho, not related to your ex-husband, before you ask, though I know his family well enough to despise them." Jessica took his hand. His grip was warm, firm, deliberate. "Who are you?" "The owner of half of Seoul's entertainment district, the man your ex-husband's family owes 3 billion won. And as of 10 minutes ago, the man who decided you're too valuable to waste on immigration." His thumb brushed across her knuckles. "I'm also the man who's going to marry you." Jessica jerked her hand back. "Excuse me? You heard me." The car started moving. "I need a wife for business reasons. You need a visa and revenge. We can help each other. This is insane. This is practical." He settled back against the leather seat. "I'll provide you with everything. Apartment, money, visa, protection. In exchange, you play the role of my wife in public. Attend events. Look beautiful. Make your ex-husband and his family realize what they lost. And privately, we maintain separate lives. You do what you want. I do what I want. No expectations, no pressure, just a mutually beneficial arrangement." Jessica stared at him. He was serious, completely serious. "You're asking me to enter a fake marriage. I'm offering you a weapon." His eyes held hers. "Your ex-husband threw you away because you couldn't give him a child. I'm offering you the chance to show him that you were never the problem, that you were always more than enough, that his family made the biggest mistake of their lives when they underestimated you. And all I have to do is pretend to be your wife. All you have to do is be yourself." He smiled. "Beautiful, strong, and utterly untouchable. Everything they tried to break." The car pulled up to a building in Gangnam. Not just any building, one of the most expensive residential towers in Seoul. The kind of place Jessica had only seen from the outside. Kang Min-ho's penthouse was on the top floor. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, furniture that looked like art. A kitchen bigger than the bedroom she'd shared with her ex-husband. "This is where you'll live." He walked to the windows. "The master suite is through there. I have a separate apartment on the floor below. We'll maintain appearances in public. In private, you have complete freedom." Jessica's head was spinning. "Why me? Why not any other woman in Seoul? Because you have something they don't." He turned to face her. "Fire. You just lost everything and you're still standing, still fighting. I watched you walk through the rain for 2 hours. You didn't cry, didn't break. You just kept moving forward." His voice dropped. "That's the kind of strength I need beside me. Not some society princess who'll fold under pressure. You." Jessica looked out at the city. Seoul spread below like a kingdom she'd once dreamed of belonging to, a kingdom that had rejected her. "Spit her out. What do you really want from me?" "The truth, the truth." Kang Min-ho moved closer. His presence was overwhelming, magnetic. "I want to destroy the Choi family. Your ex-husband's father embezzled from my company. He owes me 3 billion won and refuses to pay, says I have no proof, no leverage. But a scandal? A scandal could ruin them. And what could be more scandalous than his discarded daughter-in-law marrying his biggest rival? Jessica's heart was pounding. You want to use me as revenge. I want to give you revenge. There's a difference. He was close enough now that she could smell his cologne, something expensive and dark. You have every right to hate them, every right to want them to suffer. I'm just offering you the tools to make it happen. And what if I say no? Then I'll drive you back to Itaewon and wish you luck. His eyes were utterly serious. I don't force anyone into anything, Jessica. This is your choice, your life, your future. I'm just offering you an alternative to destruction. She should say no, should walk away, should go back to Nigeria and rebuild her life far from this place that had broken her. But the thought of Min-ho seeing her like this, thriving, married to someone more powerful than his entire family, the thought of his mother's face when she realized Jessica hadn't disappeared, hadn't been erased, the thought of revenge was intoxicating. I'll do it. The words came out before she could stop them. Kang Min-ho smiled. It was a beautiful, terrible thing. Good. We'll get married tomorrow. Civil ceremony. Quiet. Then, in 2 weeks, we'll attend the charity gala where all of Seoul's elite gather, including your ex-husband's family. We'll make sure they know exactly what they lost. Jessica felt like she was standing at the edge of a cliff. One step forward and everything would change. There would be no going back. Tomorrow, she repeated. That fast. I don't waste time when I know what I want. His hand reached out, tucked a strand of her wet hair behind her ear. The touch was gentle, unexpected. And right now, I want you standing beside me. Not because you're broken, not because you need saving, but because you're the only woman in Seoul strong enough to survive what's coming. That night, Jessica stood in the master suite of the penthouse, staring at her reflection in the floor-to-ceiling mirror. The room was bigger than the entire first floor of her childhood home in Lagos. The bed looked like it belonged in a palace. The closet was empty, waiting to be filled. She was still wearing her rain-soaked clothes, still processing the fact that she'd agreed to marry a complete stranger, a dangerous stranger, a man who looked at her like she was a weapon he wanted to wield. Her phone buzzed. Min-ho, finally calling, finally caring enough to check if she was alive. She almost didn't answer. Then she thought about what Kang Min-ho had said, about fire, about strength, about not letting them break her. She answered, Jessica. Min-ho's voice was strained. Where are you? My mother is worried. Liar. His mother didn't care if Jessica lived or died. Are you okay? Do you need money? I can send you money for a hotel until you figure things out. Jessica laughed. It was sharp, brittle. I figured things out. I don't need your money. Good. That's good. He sounded relieved. So you're leaving Korea then? Going back to Nigeria? No. The word was steel. I'm staying. I'm getting married, actually. Tomorrow. Silence. Long, shocked silence. What? You heard me. I'm getting married to someone who actually wants me, someone who sees my value, someone who would never throw me away like I'm garbage. Jessica, you can't just... I can. I am. She felt something fierce rising in her chest. Enjoy your life, Min-ho. I hope your next wife gives you everything you want. Then she hung up. Let him choke on that. Let his mother panic. Let them wonder who she'd found. Who'd want her? Tomorrow, they'd start to understand. Tomorrow, everything would change. She walked to the windows. Seoul glittered below, a city of lights and shadows and dangerous possibilities. Somewhere in this city, Kang Min-ho was planning their revenge, and Jessica was letting him. God help her. She was letting him. The morning came too fast. Jessica woke to find clothing laid out on the bed. A simple but elegant dress in deep blue, shoes that fit perfectly, jewelry that looked real and probably was. There was a note. Wear this. Car leaves at noon. Kang Min-ho. She showered in the massive bathroom. Let the hot water wash away the last remnants of yesterday. When she looked in the mirror, she barely recognized herself. 7 years of being made small had changed her, dimmed her, made her forget who she'd been before Seoul, before Min-ho, before she'd learned to apologize for existing. Today, she was remembering. The dress fit perfectly. The shoes made her legs look endless. The jewelry caught the light. She looked expensive, powerful, like a woman who belonged in penthouses and private cars, like someone worth fighting for. The car was waiting at noon exactly. The driver opened the door without speaking. Jessica slid into the back seat. Kang Min-ho was already there. He looked devastating in a charcoal suit. His eyes traveled over her slowly, assessing. Perfect. His voice was approving. You look like you belong beside me. I look like I'm playing dress up. You look like a queen. He handed her a small box. This is yours. She opened it. Inside was a wedding ring. Not just any ring. A platinum band with a diamond so large it looked obscene. This is too much. It's exactly enough. He took the ring, slid it onto her finger. The metal was warm from his pocket. You're about to become Mrs. Kang Min-ho. You need to look the part. What about you? Don't you need a ring? He pulled a matching platinum band from his pocket. I have mine. He slipped it on his own finger. There. Now we match. The registry office was quiet, efficient. They filled out paperwork, signed documents. A clerk pronounced them married in a voice that suggested she'd done this 1,000 times and would do it 1,000 more. It was nothing like Jessica's first wedding. That had been a huge ceremony, traditional. Minho's family had spared no expense, had made sure everyone knew how generous they were being, allowing their son to marry a foreigner. This was just paperwork, just signatures, just two strangers becoming legally bound for reasons that had nothing to do with love. And somehow, it felt more honest. When they stepped outside, Kang Min-ho turned to her. His expression was unreadable. Congratulations, Mrs. Kang. You're now married to Seoul's most dangerous man, and you're married to Seoul's most notorious disappointment. Jessica's voice was dry. We make quite a pair. We make a weapon. He opened the car door for her, and in 2 weeks, we're going to show your ex-husband's family exactly what happens when they throw away something precious. The next 2 weeks passed in a strange blur. Kang Min-ho was rarely home. When he was polite, distant, professional. He'd have meals delivered, ask if she needed anything, make sure she had money and freedom to do whatever she wanted. But he never touched her, never lingered, never looked at her with anything except that same assessing calculation. Jessica spent her days exploring Seoul like a tourist, buying clothes with the credit card he'd given her, getting her hair done, her nails, learning how to look like she belonged in his world. At night, she'd stand at the windows and watch the city, wonder what she'd gotten herself into, wonder if revenge would taste as sweet as she hoped. Then the night of the charity gala arrived. Jessica stood in front of the mirror, barely recognizing herself. The dress was a masterpiece, deep emerald green that made her dark skin glow. It hugged her curves in all the right places. The back was cut low, daring, scandalous, perfect. Kang Min-ho walked into the room and stopped. For the first time since she'd met him, his composure cracked. His eyes widened, his breath caught. His hand tightened around the whiskey glass he was holding. Jessica. He crossed to her slowly. You look beautiful. She turned to face him. Dangerous, untouchable. His voice was rough. All of that, and more. He circled her slowly. The jade brings out the gold in your skin. The cut shows your strength. And that expression. He smiled. That expression says you're about to destroy every person who ever underestimated you. Is that what you see? That's what everyone will see. He stopped in front of her, his hand lifted to her face, hovering, not quite touching. May I? Jessica nodded. She didn't trust her voice. His fingers traced her jaw. Gentle, reverent. You're the most stunning woman I've ever seen. And tonight, you're mine. The word sent shivers down her spine. Yours? My wife, my partner, my equal. His eyes held hers. Every man in that room will want you. Every woman will envy you. And your ex-husband. His smile turned sharp. Your ex-husband will realize he made the worst mistake of his miserable life. Jessica's heart was racing. This was supposed to be fake, business, revenge. So why did his touch feel like fire? Why did his words make her feel seen in a way she'd never felt before? The gala was held in one of Seoul's most exclusive hotels, the kind of place where a single night cost more than most people made in a year. The ballroom glittered with chandeliers and champagne and the cream of Korean society. Kang Min-ho's hand rested on the small of Jessica's back as they entered. The touch was light, possessive, protective. Every eye turned to watch them. Jessica heard the whispers immediately. "That's Kang Min-ho. Who's the woman? I've never seen her before. She's gorgeous. Is she foreign? She must be someone important." Then they reached the heart of the ballroom, and Jessica saw them. Min-ho and his family. His mother stood in a circle of society wives, holding court. His father spoke with business associates. His sisters clustered together, whispering. And Min-ho, her ex-husband, stood with a woman on his arm, young, Korean, pretty in a delicate, fragile way, the kind of woman his mother would approve of, the kind of woman who would give him the sons he wanted. Their eyes met across the room. Jessica watched his face go pale, watched his mouth fall open, watched him stare at her like he was seeing a ghost. Then Kang Min-ho pulled her closer. His lips brushed her ear. "Breathe, smile, and let them choke on their regret." Jessica smiled. It was radiant, devastating. The smile of a woman who'd risen from ashes. Min-ho started toward them. His family followed like predators sensing blood. Jessica's heart pounded, but Kang Min-ho's hand was steady on her back, grounding her, reminding her she wasn't alone anymore. "Jessica." Min-ho's voice was strangled. "What are you doing here?" "I'm attending a charity gala with my husband." She gestured to Kang Min-ho. "You remember Kang Min-ho, don't you? Your family's business rival." Min-ho's mother had gone white. "This is impossible. You just got divorced 2 weeks ago, and I just got married." Jessica's voice was sweet as poison. "To a man who actually values me, who sees my worth, who would never throw me away like garbage." Kang Min-ho extended his hand to Min-ho. It was a power move, deliberate, challenging. "Congratulations on your divorce. I have to thank you, actually. If you hadn't been stupid enough to let Jessica go, I never would have had the pleasure of making her my wife." Min-ho ignored the hand. His eyes were on Jessica, full of something that looked like regret, like loss. "You can't be serious. You married him? He's dangerous. Jessica, everyone knows what he does. Everyone knows what you did." Jessica's voice was ice. "Everyone knows you threw away your wife because she couldn't give you a son. Everyone knows your family is cruel and heartless and values bloodlines more than human beings. So yes, I married him. Because he's everything you're not. Real." The word hung in the air like a slap. Min-ho's new girlfriend tugged on his sleeve. "Appa, let's go." But Min-ho couldn't look away from Jessica. "You look happy." Jessica smiled. It reached her eyes. "I am." Kang Min-ho guided her away before anyone could say more. They walked through the crowd. Jessica felt every eye on them, felt the whispers following, felt the power of her transformation. She wasn't the broken woman who'd been thrown away. She was Mrs. Kang Min-ho, and that meant something in this world. They reached the balcony. The Seoul skyline spread below. Kang Min-ho released her, poured them both champagne. "You did beautifully. I thought I was going to be sick. You were magnificent." He handed her a glass. That look on his face, that was worth everything. Jessica took a long drink. Why does this feel so good? Because revenge always feels good. For a little while, he leaned against the railing. Then it fades. And you realize you're still broken, just in different ways. His honesty surprised her. "You sound like you know from experience." "I do." His eyes were distant. "I've spent years trying to destroy people who hurt me, and all it's done is make me colder, harder, more alone. Then why do this? Why offer to help me? Because maybe helping you will feel different." He looked at her. "Maybe giving someone else their revenge will heal something in me that my own revenge never could." They stood in silence. The night air was cool. The city hummed below. Inside, the gala continued. But out here, it was just them. Two broken people pretending to be whole. "Jessica." Kang Min-ho's voice was soft. "Yes? Thank you for doing this, for playing this role." She turned to face him. "It doesn't feel like playing anymore." "No." His eyes held hers. "It doesn't." Then he was kissing her. Jessica didn't know who moved first. Didn't care. His mouth was hot against hers. His hands cupped her face. She melted into him. 7 years. 7 years of cold duty, of trying to be enough, of love that was conditional and cruel. This felt different. This felt like choice, like fire, like something that could consume them both. Kang Min-ho pulled back, breathing hard. His forehead rested against hers. This wasn't part of the plan. I know, but it feels right. It feels dangerous. She opened her eyes. Maybe I like dangerous. Maybe, his thumb brushed her cheek. Maybe we're both playing with fire. Then let's burn. The words were barely out of her mouth before he was kissing her again, deeper this time, desperate, like he'd been holding back and finally couldn't anymore. They didn't go back inside. They left the gala early, drove back to the penthouse in charged silence. When they stepped into the elevator, Kang Min-ho pulled her close. His hands were on her waist, his mouth on her neck. Jessica, he breathed against her skin. Tell me to stop. I can't. She threaded her fingers through his hair. I don't want you to stop. They barely made it through the penthouse door before clothes started coming off. His jacket, her shoes, his shirt, her dress pooling on the floor. They stumbled toward the bedroom, hands everywhere, mouths desperate. Years of loneliness and pain channeling into this moment, into each other. The bedroom door closed behind them. The city lights glowed through the windows, and for the first time in 7 years, Jessica felt alive, felt wanted, felt whole. Kang Min-ho's hands traced her curves, his mouth worshipped her skin. When he pulled back to look at her, his eyes were dark with desire. You're perfect. His voice was rough. Every part of you is perfect. I'm not. I am to me. He kissed her again. And anyone who made you feel less than perfect is a fool. Their coming together was slow, intense. He took his time, learning her, tasting her, making her feel things she'd never felt before. When they finally moved as one, Jessica forgot about revenge, forgot about Min-ho, forgot about everything except this. The heat between them. The way he looked at her like she was precious. The way her body responded to his touch. They moved together, built towards something explosive. When release came, it shattered them both. Jessica cried out. Kang Min-ho's arms tightened around her. They collapsed together, breathing hard, hearts racing, the world slowly reassembling itself around them. Kang Min-ho pulled her close. His hand stroked her back. Jessica buried her face in his neck. This changed everything, she whispered. I know. His voice was quiet. Is that okay? She lifted her head, looked into his eyes, saw vulnerability there, something real beneath all the dangerous beauty. Yes. She kissed him softly. It's okay. They fell asleep, tangled together, the city lights painting patterns on their skin. Two broken people who'd found something unexpected, something precious, something that might heal them both. Morning came soft and golden. Jessica woke wrapped in expensive sheets and Kang Min-ho's arms. He was already awake, watching her. Good morning. His voice was rough with sleep. Morning, she stretched. Her body ached in the best way. Last night was a mistake. He finished. Jessica's heart dropped. Oh, but the kind of mistake I want to make again. His smile was devastating, and again, until neither of us can think straight. She laughed, relief flooding through her. You scared me. Good. He pulled her closer. You should be scared. I'm dangerous. Remember? You're also the man who made me feel wanted for the first time in 7 years. His expression softened. You are wanted, Jessica. So wanted it's driving me insane. They stayed in bed for hours, talking, touching, learning each other in ways that had nothing to do with revenge or business or fake marriages. He told her about his childhood, about growing up in violence, about building his empire from nothing, about the enemies who wanted him dead. She told him about Nigeria, about her family, about coming to Korea full of dreams, about how slowly those dreams had died under Min-ho's cruelty. We're both survivors, she said quietly. Yes. He kissed her forehead. And maybe that's why this works. Because we understand each other. Because we don't need fixing. Just understanding. Exactly. A knock on the door interrupted them. Kang Min-ho cursed in Korean. What? His assistant's voice came through. Boss, you need to see the news. Now. They dressed quickly, rushed to the living room. The television was already on. The headlines made Jessica's blood run cold. Breaking: Kang Min-ho marries ex-wife of business rival. Below was a photo from last night, Kang Min-ho and Jessica on the balcony, kissing. Someone had taken it through the glass. Someone had sold them out. The story was everywhere. Every news site, every gossip blog, every society page. Jessica's face plastered beside Kang Min-ho's. Her name, her divorce, her new marriage, everything exposed. I'm so sorry. Kang Min-ho's voice was tight with rage. I'll find out who did this. I'll destroy them. Jessica stared at the screen, at her own face, at the headline calling her a gold digger, a opportunist, a foreigner who'd seduced Seoul's most dangerous man. Then she started laughing. Kang Min-ho stared at her. You're laughing? Don't you see? She turned to him, her eyes bright. This is perfect. This is exactly what we wanted. To make them see, to make them regret. Well, now everyone in Seoul knows. Knows I didn't disappear. Knows I didn't break. Knows I found someone better. He studied her face. You're not upset? I'm furious. She was, but also exhilarated. But I'm not backing down. I'm not hiding. If they want to make me infamous, fine. I'll be infamous. I'll be the woman who rose from ashes, who married up, who won. His smile was slow, predatory. That's my girl. I'm not your girl. She walked to him, ran her hands up his chest. I'm your wife, and the distinction matters, wife. He caught her hands, kissed them. What do we do now? Now? Jessica looked back at the television, at the story that was destroying her reputation and building her legend at the same time. Now we give them something to really talk about. Over the next week, Jessica and Kang Min-ho became Seoul's most talked about couple. Every appearance was calculated, every photo opportunity strategic. They attended restaurant openings, gallery exhibitions, charity events. Always together, always touching, always looking at each other like the world might end tomorrow. The whispers followed them everywhere. Did you hear she was thrown out with nothing? Now look at her. Those diamonds are real. I heard Kang Min-ho is obsessed with her. They say he turned down 3 business deals to take her to Paris. Min-ho's family was silent, publicly, but Jessica's phone kept buzzing. Messages from Min-ho, from his mother, from his sisters, all saying different versions of the same thing. You're embarrassing yourself. You're making a spectacle. Come back. We can talk. Jessica deleted every message without reading past the first line. She was done with that family, done with their cruelty disguised as concern. But privately, in the quiet moments, doubt crept in. She was lying in Kang Min-ho's bed one night, his arm around her, when she finally voiced it. What happens when they stop caring? When the scandal dies down? When we're not useful to each other anymore? He was quiet for so long she thought he'd fallen asleep. Then his arm tightened around her. What if I told you I don't care about the scandal anymore? What if I told you this stopped being fake the moment I kissed you? Jessica's heart stuttered. What are you saying? I'm saying I want this to be real. His voice was rough. I want you, not as a weapon, not as revenge, just as you. Jessica, messy and broken and perfect. I want you to be my wife in every way that matters. She turned in his arms, looked into his eyes, saw the truth there, the vulnerability. Min-ho, I'm scared. Of what? Of this feeling the same way my first marriage felt, of losing myself again, of becoming someone's possession instead of someone's partner. You could never be anyone's possession. He cupped her face. You're too strong for that, too fierce, and I don't want to own you, Jessica. I want to stand beside you. Equal, partner, everything. Then show me. Show me this is different. Show me I can trust this. I will, he kissed her softly. Every day. For the rest of our lives. I'll show you. The morning brought chaos. Jessica woke to her phone exploding with notifications. Kang Min-ho was already in the living room, his face carved from stone, watching the news. What happened? She moved to his side. He pointed at the screen. Min-ho's family had given an interview. His mother sat in their Gangnam mansion, looking elegant and wounded, telling the reporters about Jessica, about how she'd been a gold digger from the start, how she'd trapped Min-ho with false promises, how she'd stolen from the family before she left. All lies, all vicious, calculated lies designed to destroy Jessica's reputation completely. They're saying I took jewelry, money, that I forged checks. Jessica's voice was shaking. None of that is true. I know. Kang Minho's jaw was tight, and I'm going to make them pay for every word. How? She turned to him. How do you fight this? They're one of the most respected families in Seoul. People will believe them. Not when we're done. He pulled out his phone, made a call, spoke rapid Korean that Jessica could barely follow. When he hung up, his expression was dangerous. I have lawyers drafting defamation suits. I have investigators pulling every piece of dirt on the Choi family, and I have connections in every major news outlet in Seoul. By tonight, the truth will be out. What truth? That Minho's father embezzled from his own company. That his mother has been having an affair with her husband's business partner for 5 years. That Minho himself has a gambling problem that's cost the family over 2 billion won. His smile was sharp. The truth that the Choi family is rotten to the core, and I have proof of all of it. Jessica stared at him. You've been investigating them this whole time, since the moment I decided to marry you. He walked to her, took her hands. I told you, Jessica, I protect what's mine, and you're mine now, every part of you, your reputation, your dignity, your future. No one gets to destroy that, not even Seoul's most respected family. But this will start a war. Good. His eyes were fierce. Let them try to fight me. Let them see what happens when they underestimate us. We're stronger together than they could ever imagine. The war came fast and brutal. By noon, Kang Minho's team had released the evidence. Financial records, hotel receipts, gambling debts, photos that destroyed carefully maintained reputations. The internet exploded. The Choi family went from respected to reviled in hours. Minho's father resigned from his company. His mother stopped appearing in public. His sisters deleted their social media accounts. And Minho himself, Jessica saw him on the news, looking hollow and destroyed, reading a prepared statement about taking responsibility for his family's actions. She should have felt satisfaction, should have felt vindicated. Instead, she just felt empty. Watching him crumble didn't heal the wounds he'd left. It just reminded her how much time she'd wasted loving someone who never deserved it. Kang Minho found her standing at the windows, staring out at Seoul. Are you okay? I thought revenge would feel better. Her voice was quiet. It just feels sad. Revenge always does. He moved beside her. That's why I tried to warn you. It doesn't fix what's broken. It just breaks other things. Then why did we do this? Because sometimes you have to break things before you can rebuild. He turned her to face him. The Choi family needed to fall, not for us, but because they were hurting people, using power to crush anyone they deemed beneath them. We didn't just get revenge, Jessica. We got justice. She leaned into him. When did you become so wise? I didn't. His arms came around her. I'm just good at pretending. She laughed despite everything. They stood there, holding each other, while outside the city buzzed with scandal and destruction. Two people who'd started this as a game and ended up finding something real. 3 weeks later, Jessica stood in a doctor's office, staring at test results that changed everything. The doctor smiled. Congratulations, Mrs. Kang. You're pregnant. Jessica's world tilted. That's impossible. I can't. I've tried for 7 years. The doctor looked at her file. Sometimes stress can affect fertility. When the stress is removed, the body responds. You're about 6 weeks along. Everything looks healthy. Jessica walked out in a daze. She drove back to the penthouse on autopilot. Her mind was spinning. Pregnant. She was pregnant, after 7 years of trying. 7 years of treatments and hope and devastation. 7 years of being told she was broken. And now, with Kang Minho, now, when she wasn't even trying. The irony was almost too much. She found him in his office, reviewing contracts. He looked up when she entered. His smile faded when he saw her face. What's wrong? I'm pregnant. The words fell between them like stones. Kang Minho went very still. What? I'm pregnant. 6 weeks. Jessica's voice was shaking. I thought I couldn't. 7 years of trying with Minho and nothing. And now? His chair rolled back. He stood, crossed to her. Jessica. She burst into tears. I don't know if this is good or bad. I don't know if you want this. I don't know if I want this. This wasn't part of our plan. This was supposed to be fake, and now it's real, and I'm so scared. Shh. He pulled her close. His hand stroked her back. Breathe. Just breathe. I'm sorry. I don't know why this happened. I'm sorry. Don't apologize. His voice was fierce. Don't you dare apologize for this. He pulled back, cupped her face, made her look at him. Do you know what I think? I think your body knew it was finally safe, finally loved, finally home. I think you weren't broken. You were just with the wrong person, and now you're with the right one. You want this? She searched his eyes. Yes. His answer was immediate. I want this. I want you. I want our child. I want everything with you, Jessica. Everything we can build together. They stood there, holding each other, while the enormity of it sank in. This was real now, completely real. No more pretending, no more games, just them, and the life growing inside her. The next months were a blur of doctor's appointments and morning sickness, and Kang Min-ho becoming impossibly protective. He insisted she stop working, stop doing anything remotely stressful. She was barely showing, but he treated her like she was made of glass. I'm pregnant, not dying. She complained one morning when he tried to carry her to the couch. You're precious. His jaw was set. Both of you are precious. I'm not taking chances. You're being ridiculous. I'm being careful. He settled her on the couch, propped pillows around her. There, comfortable? Min-ho. She grabbed his hand. I love you, but if you don't let me walk on my own, I'm going to lose my mind. He sat beside her. His hand went to her stomach. Their baby was the size of a lemon now, small and perfect, and theirs. I'm scared. His confession was quiet. What if something happens? What if I can't protect you? What if... Jessica pressed her finger to his lips. Nothing's going to happen. We're fine. I'm healthy. The baby's healthy. You can't control everything. I can try. She laughed. That's what I love about you, and also what drives me crazy. Good. He kissed her. I want to drive you crazy. Want to make you as insane as you make me. At 5 months, Jessica's pregnancy became public knowledge. The media went wild. Headlines everywhere. Kang Min-ho's wife expecting. Will the baby heal the scandal? Is this a publicity stunt? Jessica ignored most of it, but one headline made her pause. Choi Min-ho's statement on his ex-wife's pregnancy. She shouldn't have opened it, shouldn't have read it, but she did. Min-ho's statement was brief. I'm happy for Jessica. I hope she finds the family she always wanted. I regret how our marriage ended. She deserved better than what I gave her. It wasn't an apology, but it was close. Jessica showed it to Kang Min-ho that night. He read it, his expression unreadable. Does it matter? What he thinks? No. She took the phone back. It doesn't. You're my present, my future. He's just the past, and the past can't hurt me anymore. Good. He pulled her into his arms. Because I'm done fighting ghosts. I'm ready to focus on this. On us. On our family. Jessica rested her head on his chest, felt their baby kick, felt the steady beat of his heart. Me too. The nursery was painted soft yellow, gender neutral. They'd decided not to find out if they were having a boy or girl, wanted the surprise. Kang Min-ho spent hours assembling furniture. Jessica painted the walls with clouds and stars. They'd turned a space that had been empty into something full of hope. This is perfect. Jessica stood in the doorway at 7 months, her hand on her swollen belly. It's ours. Kang Min-ho came up behind her, wrapped his arms around her. Everything's ours now. No more pretending, no more games, just this. She leaned back against him. I never thought I'd have this. Family, love, a baby, someone who sees me. You have it! His hand covered hers on her stomach. And you'll have it forever. I'm not going anywhere, Jessica. Ever. Promise? Promise. At 8 months, everything changed. Jessica was home alone when the pain started. Sharp, intense, too early. She called Kang Min-ho. Her voice was tight with fear. Something's wrong. I'm coming. She heard him moving, giving orders. Stay calm. Call the doctor. I'll be there in 10 minutes. The doctor confirmed her fears. Premature labor. The baby was coming. A month early, Jessica was wheeled into delivery. Kang Min-ho held her hand the entire time. His face was pale, but his grip was steady. "You can do this." His voice was certain. "You're the strongest person I know. You can do anything. It hurts. I know." He pressed his lips to her forehead. "But soon we'll meet our baby. Soon this will all be worth it." 3 hours of pain, of pushing, of fear that something would go wrong. Then the sound of crying. Small and angry and perfect. "A girl," the doctor announced. "Small but healthy. Jessica, you have a daughter." Kang Min-ho's face crumbled. Tears streamed down his cheeks as the doctor placed their daughter on Jessica's chest. "She's perfect." His voice broke. "She's absolutely perfect." Jessica looked down at the tiny face, the dark hair, the perfect little fingers already gripping her mother's hand. "Our daughter," she whispered. "Our little miracle." They named her Grace, because grace was what had brought them together. Grace was what had healed them. Grace was what filled the spaces where pain used to live. The first weeks were exhausting. Grace was tiny but fierce. She cried when she was hungry, slept when she wanted, demanded attention at all hours. Kang Min-ho was obsessed. He held her constantly, changed diapers without complaint, paced the floor at 3 in the morning singing Korean lullabies. Jessica would wake to find him standing at the nursery window, Grace in his arms, talking to her about the city below, telling her about the empire he'd built, the mistakes he'd made, the woman who'd saved him. "Your mother is magic," he whispered one night, not knowing Jessica was listening in the doorway. "She came into my life when I was cold and broken. She taught me how to feel again, how to love, how to be human." His voice was soft. "And now she's given me you, the most precious thing I've ever held." Jessica's heart ached with love. She'd married this man for revenge, for survival, for reasons that had nothing to do with love. And somehow, impossibly, she'd found everything she'd ever wanted. Grace's first birthday was celebrated in the penthouse, just family. Jessica's mother had flown in from Nigeria. Kang Min-ho's grandmother came from Busan, a few close friends. Nothing like the elaborate parties Seoul's elite threw, just people they loved. Watching their daughter discover cake, Min-ho sent a gift, a silver bracelet with Grace's name engraved. Jessica almost sent it back. Then Kang Min-ho stopped her. He made a mistake. His voice was quiet. "A terrible mistake. But this is him trying to make peace. You don't have to forgive him, but maybe you can accept that he's trying." Jessica kept the bracelet. Put it in Grace's jewelry box. Maybe one day she'd tell her daughter about her first marriage, about the pain that had led to something beautiful. But not yet. Not for years. For now, Grace only needed to know she was loved. Completely. Unconditionally. Forever. 5 years after they married, Jessica and Kang Min-ho stood on the balcony where they'd first kissed. Grace was asleep inside. The city sparkled below. "Do you ever regret it?" she asked quietly. "Marrying me? Never." His arm came around her waist. "Best decision I ever made. Even though it started as a lie? Especially because it started as a lie." He turned her to face him. "It taught us that sometimes the best things come from the worst situations, that broken people can heal each other. That revenge isn't as sweet as love." His thumb traced her jaw. "You saved me, Jessica, from myself, from loneliness, from becoming the monster everyone thought I was. You saved me first." She leaned into his touch. "From despair, from believing I wasn't enough, from a life half-lived." They kissed, soft and sweet and full of promise. Behind them, through the glass, Seoul hummed with life. A city that had once rejected Jessica, that had broken her, that had rebuilt her into something stronger. "I love you," she whispered against his lips. "I love you more." He smiled. Impossible. His eyes held hers. Necessary. They stood there, holding each other, while the world moved around them. Two people who'd started as strangers, who'd used each other for revenge, who'd found something neither expected. Love. Real, honest, unbreakable love. And as the city lights painted patterns on their skin, as their daughter slept peacefully inside, as their future stretched bright and certain before them, Jessica finally understood. She hadn't been broken. She'd been planted. And from that pain, from that devastation, from that moment when she thought her life was over, she'd grown into something more beautiful than she'd ever imagined. She'd grown into herself, into a mother, into a wife, into a woman who knew her worth, and she'd grown with a man who saw her, all of her, the broken parts and the healed parts, the scared parts and the fierce parts, all of her, and loved every single piece. Their story had started with divorce papers and rain and revenge, but it had become something else entirely. It had become a love story, messy and complicated and absolutely perfect. And as Kang Min-ho pulled her closer, as grace stirred inside, as soul glittered below like a kingdom they'd conquered together, Jessica smiled. Because she was home, finally, completely, irrevocably home. The past couldn't hurt her anymore. The future was theirs to build. And the present was everything she'd ever wanted. Love, family, a man who saw her worth, a daughter who carried their hope, a life rebuilt from ashes. She'd been kicked out by her husband's family for being infertile. She'd been told she was worthless, broken, less than. And then a dangerous man had appeared in the rain, had offered her revenge, had given her so much more, had given her everything. And now, standing in his arms, with their daughter sleeping peacefully inside, with souls spread below like a promise, Jessica finally believed it. She was enough. She had always been enough. She just needed someone to see it. And Kang Min-ho, the Mafia boss, the dangerous man, the stranger who'd become her everything, he saw it. He saw her. And that made all the difference.